Rise of the Golden Idol is a brilliant follow-up to 2022's Case of the Golden Idol. Moving from an oddly satisfying but a little mushy pixel art style, we now have fully hand-drawn and lightly animated backdrops and characters. Every stage is a mystery as you'll point and click your way around to get a bevy of words and icons. You'll match them up through difficult but satisfying deduction work as you uncover a brilliantly laid out story. If you can't tell, this game's just as good, if not better than its predecessor, and I think that everyone should play it. Please allow me to explain why in the XboxEra review of Rise of the Golden Idol. In the original game, players went through the history of the Golden Idol, anyone who owned it, where it came from, and the dark fates of those who crossed its path. It could sap the life from people and bestow that energy upon others, reinvigorating them. In Rise of the Golden Idol, it's fallen into myth. We're on a not quite Earth, but in one vaguely similar 1970s. Beginning with a short tutorial level in a mental asylum, we must solve a murder case as we see a crazed inmate strangling a guard with his bedsheets. Where the story goes from there, who the murderous inmate is, and what has become of said idol over the centuries plays out brilliantly. The game's levels are not in chronological order. You'll see characters at their ends or their beginnings, and then learn how they either got there or where they're going. And there is no easy way to talk about it without spoilers, so I'll keep things vague, and everything you see in this video is just the beginning of a level without anything being solved. Rise of the Golden Idol keeps Case's smart interweaving of storylines, but it dials it up a notch. It wasn't until I was pretty deep into Chapter 3 out of 5 that I felt I had an understanding of where things might end up going. And then, by the end, I was laughing my ass off at how wrong I was, and thoroughly satisfied with where the devs at Color Gray Games took things. I did review this game on PC as the footage shows, though I played a lot with a controller to mimic as closely as I could the experience on a console. Rise of the Golden Idol has you clicking on items that have a floating exclamation point above them until every level's words and prompts have been found. Once everything is in your inventory, each level will have a series of puzzles to solve. Most have either names to fill in for each of the theme's characters, or an event listing is in pretty much every single one of them, where you use all of the words you've unlocked to say who is who and explain what happened. Alongside those, there is a wide variety of different puzzle types to solve, like who came in first at a talent show, or what symbols on a cult's paperwork mean. That variety keeps the gameplay feeling fresh. It can be devilishly tricky, especially later on where I typed thousands of characters into Windows notepads as I was trying to figure some of these puzzles out. Each prompt can have sub-prompts that get you more words or icons that you will need to solve puzzles. There's no other type of gameplay. It is entirely a detective game as you attempt to deduce each in-game diorama's storyline. Early on, everything is in one area with arrows that occasionally let you move between them. Eventually, you'll get various times of day or even completely different days in a level to jump between as they ramp up the difficulty. And the game's updated art style helps a bunch as I could more clearly make out who people were and what was going on compared to my time with the first game. The only warning I do have for this title is that playing on a controller works, but it is inferior to the mouse. It's just a lot faster, even though the UI is better this time for controllers, especially when it comes to clarity, but it's still cumbersome in comparison when using a pad. It really is a marked improvement over the first title, and I think it's worth playing no matter where you are. I just recommend, if you can, play it on PC, as if you have that option, it's going to run on damn near anything made like after the year 2000, I would imagine. For fans of the original, most of those gameplay systems are going to be familiar. What isn't is how the game looks. There's still that same uncanny art style of odd-looking people full of over-the-top features, but instead of using pixels, it's now more hand-drawn looking, and I really like it. Every character just has so much personality, even if they're only moving a few frames back and forth as you work on a case. You'll end up seeing the same people a lot, especially as you get deeper into the game, and There are parts of chapters that feel mostly disconnected from the main storyline. That allows for more varied locales to be used instead of seeing the same few places a bunch of times. It's a basic but really interesting look that is helped along by a fantastic soundtrack. Rise of the Golden Idol has no voice acting at all, the mood is entirely set by the music, and it does an excellent job of capturing the mood for each stage exactly how you were expecting it to go. It changes from room to room as well, where warranted, and the "you've solved this" dings and fanfare are immensely satisfying. Wrapping things up, Rise of the Golden Idol is a great game. It is a brilliant 10 to 15 hour affair that focuses on your mind instead of your reflexes. And while it is best with a mouse, I wholeheartedly recommend it no matter where you're playing. It has a thoroughly ridiculous and satisfying story and is a worthy sequel to one of 2022's best games.